Alright, so picture this: the Eastern Question is like the latest drama series, but instead of high school rivalries, we've got European powers fighting over the crumbling Ottoman Empire. With tensions rising faster than your favorite TikTok trends, this spicy situation led to a bunch of Russo-Turkish wars before things really heated up into the Crimean War. Like, imagine a group project where no one gets along and everyone wants to take control. Now, let's spice it up with a religious twist. Russia rolls in claiming they're the saviors of Orthodox Christians, while France is like, hold my croissant, we've got the Catholics. This rivalry turned diplomatic talks into something resembling a giant game of dodgeball, where each side was just trying to justify their actions and throw shade at the other. But wait, there's more. When it came to military might, there's no contest. Russia flexed its muscle with a massive army, while the Ottomans struggled to modernize, like trying to set up a Wi-Fi connection with dial-up speed. Unsurprisingly, this led to some major fails for the Ottomans right at the start. Talk about being unprepared. In a twist of tactics, Russia tried to stir the pot by inciting revolts in the Balkans. However, the Ottomans weren't just sitting around twiddling their thumbs, they put up some solid defenses along the Danube River. So, picture Russian commanders trying to pull off a surprise party, only to find out no one showed up. Sad but relatable. When the Allies declared their intentions, Russia was like, wait, what? The outrage was real, with many Russians feeling picked on like the kid who forgets their lunch. Meanwhile, the Allies were just looking to block Russia's expansion like a goalie at a soccer match, determined to protect their commercial interests in the Black Sea. Now, let's talk about the Allied army, a mix of French, British, and Ottoman troops. Sounds like the start of a bad joke, right? But they faced some major logistical nightmares, like illness and a serious lack of supplies. It was like going to a party where they promised pizza but served up cold leftovers instead.
Not cool, dudes. But fear not.
The Allies had a secret weapon, modern mini rifles. These bad boys made it rain firepower, allowing them to keep the upper hand over the Russian forces. It was like showing up to a water balloon fight with a super soaker. Spoiler alert, the Russians weren't having a good day. After some intense battling, the Allies decided to lay siege to Sevastopol, setting up defenses like they were building the ultimate fort in a video game. They needed to protect themselves from the Russian garrison, which was basically their do not disturb sign on the door while they regrouped. Now, let's not forget about the weather, because when isn't Mother Nature a drama queen? Thick fog caused major confusion for Russian commanders, like trying to navigate through a blindfolded maze. This chaos totally hampered their strategic planning, like a bad hangover ruining your weekend vibes. And just when you thought things couldn't get wild enough, European media jumped in, acting like the gossip queens of the 19th century. Thanks to the Telegraph, everyone was getting the latest scoop faster than you can say, "Did you hear the tea?" This reporting stirred public opinion and put pressure on governments like they were cramming for finals. Speaking of heroes, let's give a round of applause to Florence Nightingale. She took nursing to a whole new level, proving that healthcare wasn't just about band-aids and chicken soup. Her work really professionalized nursing, even though folks still debated whether it was actually effective. Yes, even in the 1800s, people were arguing on the internet. Oh wait, they didn't have the internet yet. But the war didn't just affect the soldiers, civilians felt the heat too. The Crimean Tatars faced a rough ride, facing repression and deportation, leading to quite the demographic shakeup in Crimea. Like, imagine moving homes but not by choice. That's just harsh.
Oh, and guess what?
Technological advancements were also showing off, with railroads turning into the military's best buddy. They allowed for heavy artillery fire on the Russian defenses, which was like upgrading to a premium Netflix account. You get all the good stuff and leave the competition in the dust. But let's get real about the toll this war took on the soldiers' mental health. Trench fatigue was a thing. The psychological strain was so intense, it was as if they were binging on the most dramatic reality show imaginable. Spoiler alert, not all of them made it through with their sanity intact. Finally, the Treaty of Paris came rolling in like the school principal after a wild pep rally, laying down some serious terms. It called for the demilitarization of the Black Sea and laid out the Ottoman Empire's boundaries, making some significant changes to regional dynamics, sort of like rearranging your room and realizing you actually love it. But don't be fooled, even though the war ended, Russia didn't pack away its ambitions like last season's clothes. Nope, the tensions were still simmering like forgotten ramen, ready to boil over into future conflicts within Europe. So, stay tuned for the next episode. And let's wrap this up by acknowledging the Crimean War as a mega transitional conflict. It was like that awkward phase in your teenage years where you're not quite a kid but not fully an adult, combining traditional warfare with modern technology. This war was a game changer, not just a footnote in history.